Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to Mahogany Sweets. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you want to. So, I wanted to come and talk to you guys about your girl, Jen Shah, because y'all know she's in the news right now facing federal charges, right? But first, before I do that, I wanted to take us back, all right? Take us back to this. Remember this?
And you can stop fucking smiling, bitch, and being a fucking bitch.
That's Jen Shah talking to her staff.
Until I handle this shit. No, not let it. You fucking handle it.
Calling her staff members a fucking
Fuck,
bitch.
you don't have a fucking attitude with me. I'm fucking going to reunion this week. Shut the fuck up! Okay.
Having a meltdown because she's going to the reunion.
Get the fuck out! I'm tired!
You're deranged. I wish I would work with somebody like that. They had no throwing shit. She just threw some. They threw some again.
You guys are fucking. You think this is funny? This is funny? This is my shit.
Now, what tripped me out is you're verbally attacking your employee and then have the nerve to be mad at her for having an attitude.
I will.
Which you probably. As calmly as her staff is acting and trying to appease her and kiss her ass, that tells me she behaves like this with them all the time. Like, they could have been quit and sued her ass for bullying, intimidation in the workplace. Like, this is so unprofessional. Mistreatment in the workplace. Oh, and there go her husband. See, he used to this behavior as well. He's now, her husband is picking up the stuff she just threw around. Everyone's quiet. They're used to this. They letting her have her meltdown. And see, that's the problem. Her husband specifically, as well as these co-workers, they all have enabled her throughout her life to feel like this kind of behavior is okay and acceptable. That's why she has this entitlement. That's why she has this abrasive attitude. That's why she speaks to people any kind of way. Because then she got on the television show, and we all seen she did the same with them. Oh, here she goes. She came back out to start up again. She just called somebody a bitch again. So you're assaulting.
What the fuck is this shit? I have been very patient all fucking night.
She's very abusive, right? Because I just thought about it. Not only are you verbally abusing your staff, you're throwing objects at them. That's assault. Why ain't none of them sued the hell out of this woman? Why?
Then fuck it. I'm not wearing JXA. Send everybody home. I'm not wearing JXA. I'll call and make something else.
Now she's saying that she won't wear that dress. I guess maybe she having a meltdown because you keep bringing up going to the reunion, right? So maybe she has a meltdown about what type of outfit she's going to wear. I actually kind of like her fashions that I seen on the show. Some pieces were a little bit too gaudy or just not cute. Like she wore this one green outfit. She looked like she was coming from out of the 70s on Bewitched or something. But she does have some nice fashion, but she's having a meltdown like a 10-year-old over her prom dress. Well, right, 10-year-old ain't going to prom, but you get what I'm trying to say. And everyone's just accepting it and walking on eggshells. So that makes me think maybe she is paying them pretty well. You do have some people who feel that if they pay you enough, they have the right to mistreat you and talk to you any kind of way that they want to. She's narcissistic. She's entitled. She's a Karen. She's a gaslighter. She's a liar. She loves trying to play the minority race card when it benefits her, even though she enjoys the privileges of not being black, right? She don't want the oppression that comes with being black. So when she's not getting her way, when she's being put to the carpet, then she wants to play the minority card. That's what we seen, you know, on The Real Housewives. But anyway, so I just wanted to give backstory on this is the type of lunatic that we're talking about. You know, I had never made a video about her behaving like that, so I was like, oh, what am I doing about this federal charge? Let me add that part in, too, about how she treated her workers. They all need to quit. She's trash as a human being. You get what I'm saying? It's sad. But they're all used to it. They all enable it. And that's why she is probably just getting worse and continues to do it. It's time her foot be held to the carpet. So, minus her acting like that type of crazy person, She got federal charges now, so let's talk about
Salt Lake
it.
City, who's also the wife of a University of Utah football coach, is now facing federal charges along with her assistant on suspicion of running a nationwide telemarketing fraud and money laundering scheme. Utah native Jennifer Shah made housewife of Salt Lake City, who's also the wife of a University of Utah football coach, is now facing federal charges along with her assistant on suspicion of running a nationwide telemarketing fraud and money laundering scheme. Utah native Jennifer Shah made her first appearance in federal court this afternoon.
Fox 13's John Franke is at the federal courthouse in downtown Salt Lake tonight with a deeper look at the charges and Shah's possible defense. John.
Well, hey guys, earlier today, this area outside the courthouse was filled with photographers just trying to get a glimpse of this reality TV star. She, of course, is known for her glamorous lifestyle and big personality. But now this Real Housewife faces some very real federal charges that could land her in prison for a long time. The world of reality TV. When the lights go on, it can all look so glamorous. But federal prosecutors allege behind all this glam and glitter, Jennifer Shah was part of a scheme to defraud hundreds of victims. This 10-page indictment, filed in New York, was unsealed Tuesday. It alleges Shah and co-conspirator Stuart Smith caused their victims, many of whom were older than 55, to pay thousands of dollars to obtain coaching and business services. The indictment adds the services would provide little or no value.
So, her hundreds of victims, all over the age of 55, were paying thousands of dollars, it said, for what services?
Smith caused their victims, many of whom were older than 55, to pay thousands of dollars to obtain coaching and business services.
Coaching.
The indictment adds the services would provide little or no value to the victims' businesses, which were essentially non-existent. Sure.
Okay, so just off what they just stated, not necessarily fraud. We would need more detail to know if this was technically fraud, because it said that she gave them coaching in business. That added little to no value to these businesses, but they also said that those businesses were already little to non-existent. So what are we getting at? If their businesses were very little or non-existent, that could explain why it was no benefit of the services that she gave them. But number two, it said that she was coaching them. I'm thinking classes on, okay, here, this is how you run a business. Classes on here, this is how you can grow your business, stuff like that. If she was giving them that services, like actually giving them information, regardless of how good the information was, then that's not fraud. If she was giving them information, that means that she was upholding her end of the agreement. You're going to pay me. I'm going to give you tips on how to run your business. Now, if the businesses were already non-existent, then you can't blame her for them still being non-existent, because everything isn't about just the information, it's about application. So were they applying what information she was giving them? Is it a certain criteria of what type of service business they supposed to run that her information that she or coaching is centered around? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of variables, a lot of things that you have to take into account concerning this. But right off back, this does not seem like this was fraud. Like I said, regardless of even if the information was real good information or the very minimal information, she still performed her end of this business transaction, which was to give them information. Now, before you go spending your money, I know me personally, if I was looking for business information, I'm going to first find out what is the focus of the information that I'm getting. Is it on the money and investment into my business information? Is it on the marketing end of my business? Is it like, where does the information you're giving me apply to? Because it's a lot of different forces in running a business. The other thing, I'm going to see, where is your data that backs up the information you're giving work? Where are your success stories? How long have you been in business teaching this? Where did your qualifications come to teach this and stuff before I hand over my money? So, like I said, right off bat, even if she was getting out the bare minimum information, The people paid for that service. She gave them what she said she would give them, which was information, coaching. So regardless to how beneficial it was to them, that's not her fault. That's not necessarily fraud. It's for college. Then we need to be suing them for fraud and money laundering, because they tell us, here, come to school, get you a degree, and on the back end, what you get for giving us all this money or becoming in debt for all this money is you're gonna have this degree and come out of college and be able to land you a lucrative position, a minimum of this salary and stuff like that. And we all know it's a lot of people who ain't received none of that. So that tells us that these educational institutions technically are committing fraud, right? Or are y'all just doing y'all business? Y'all gave over the service, which was information, right? The classes, information. And if we land that lucrative position, making this minimum of a salary is all contingent and not their problem one way or another, even though they give the promise that that's what could come from it. So my thing is, she ain't doing no more than them from what they're telling us. And if what she's doing is just business, if that's what it is that they're doing. If she's doing fraud, then they're doing fraud.
Shah made her first court appearance in Salt Lake City Tuesday afternoon. Cameras were not allowed inside. The court is not detaining Shah while she awaits trial, so she was allowed to walk out of the courthouse. She did so without saying a word.
Now I'm looking at that, right? So they said fraud and money laundering, and a scheme, national scam scheme, targeting people specifically 55 and up. If that's true, we don't know. Those could have just been the ones who chose to bite her ploy of what she was selling. But what I found interesting, and yes, I'm about to take it here, if she was black, even though this is a white collar crime, if she was black, every charge that we could have gotten imaginable, we would have. They would have prosecuted or at least filed charges to the fullest extent of everything that they could catch us on. Where when we're talking about non-blacks, they get the very minimum and they cherry pick on what laws they want to say that they violated to charge someone. And it's interesting that they felt, oh, you know what, we're not going to keep her detained until she goes to trial. Where if it was us, no, they would have kept us clink clink detained until trial, until we were proven innocent, or if we were proven innocent, we would have been detained. And that's just an observation that I'm going to note. But once again, it just speaks to, she loves playing this minority card, but she technically benefits from every privilege that a non-black person receives. And she knows that she does. That's the other reason why I want to show. It was kind of disgusting to me that you wanted to basically oppress and mistreat and gaslight the actual true black woman on the show, while also at the same time trying to take on the stance that you were this black woman being ostracized and put aside because of that. She wanted to use the race card or minority card anytime she was put to the carpet for her book crap on this show. This is just a whole bunch of shenanigans.
Based on the amount of money that's supposedly lost in this case, the tens of thousands of dollars, even more than that,
right,
and
we would have
the
been
federal
in prison
charges,
right now
this is a
until
case
our
that could
trial
easily amount to a 10-year prison sentence for both of these defendants.
Greg Skordas is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. He says if this goes to trial, prosecutors will have the burden of proving Shah's intent to commit fraud.
Exactly.
Maybe the best defense is that she actually believed that this was a legitimate process, that she really felt that there was a service that was being provided, that these people were getting their money's worth. And the fact that they didn't doesn't necessarily make it a fraud.
Exactly.
Shah's business dealings were often highlighted in the first season of the show, including this exchange on the recently aired reunion special.
Well, we've also got a lot of questions wanting to know, what do you actually do? Because specifically, people are wondering, like, how'd you get so rich?
My background is in direct response marketing for about 20 years. So our company does, advertising. We have a platform that helps people acquire customers.
It's that platform that is now under scrutiny.
Okay. She said direct advertisement. So you know what she does? When you fill out for certain things or look up certain things, she's that company that is the one who's sending to your email all these other different businesses and services and products. Like, let's say you go and you Google up air conditioners. That's the one who is tracking that, and then plugs in these different businesses. They're gonna plug in air conditioner. She's gonna plug in a fan. Other things that's centered around air conditioning. So that's what that direct advertisement is. So just think, when you say, like, the other day I was looking for some Kyrie Nike shoes for my son, and of course I had stated that, but I also had Googled it, and then I was even on Facebook. I was getting Nike ads, Kyrie, and and other stuff, because maybe her program is also part of the one where they hear us speak. Have you ever been speaking around your electronics, and then you mentioned, let's say, hot water beds or something. I mean, not hot water beds. Let's just say beds, and now all of a sudden you getting all these advertisements on different sites or in your emails for beds, or you Googled ring lights, and now in your email you get ring lights and cameras or stuff that's centered around what a person would use a ring light for. That's what she does. That's how she makes her money. And let me tell you this, in that sense, she's doing her job. Now, of course, just like school, she tells you, here, I'm going to coach you or give direct advertisement of your business or your products or services to clients directly, and it will garner you more clientele, more sales. Now, on one hand, just like a school tell you, here, you come take these classes and we're going to give you better jobs. In the end, it's made with the promise of that, which don't come. So just because she necessarily didn't give them more clients, which they could prove, like, okay, here in 2018, this what my sales were annually. In 2019, I took her course, but in 2020, here, this is what my sales are annually, and I did not see a margin of growth. Technically, they can't blame her for that, because if her end of the bargain was, I can directly advertise you to more people. She's keeping that end up, whether the people click on it, whether the people buy. She's done that part.